Scarlett barely slept that night. Daniel's phone call echoed in her mind, but she had no idea what he was planning. The next morning, Elena was painting in her studio when someone knocked on the door. She smiled, expecting Scarlett. Instead, she found Victoria Hayes. "You must be Elena Rivera," Victoria said with a cold smile. Elena nodded politely. "I'm here to make one thing clear." Victoria looked around the small studio before placing an envelope on the table. Inside was a large check. "Take the money." Elena frowned. "What is this?" "Walk away from my daughter." Silence filled the room. Elena slowly pushed the check back. "I don't love Scarlett because of her name. Or her money." Victoria's expression hardened. "Then you'll regret this decision." Without another word, she walked away. When Scarlett arrived a few minutes later, she immediately noticed Elena's trembling hands. "What happened?" Elena looked into her eyes. "Your mother was here?" Scarlett's heart sank. "I'm so sorry." Elena held Scarlett's hand tightly. "Don't apologize for loving me." Scarlett wrapped her arms around Elena, silently promising herself that she would never let anyone separate them. The following day, Hayes Corporation held a major press conference. Reporters filled the room, cameras flashing from every direction. Scarlett stood beside her mother on the stage. Everything seemed normal, until Daniel walked in. "I have something the public deserves to know," he announced. He handed several photographs to the reporters. Pictures of Scarlett and Elena together. The room erupted with questions. "Miss Hayes, are these photos real? Is the future CEO hiding a relationship? What will happen to Hayes Corporation?" Scarlett looked at Daniel in disbelief. "You betrayed me." Daniel lowered his eyes. "I thought I was protecting you." Before Victoria could answer the media, Scarlett stepped toward the microphone. She looked directly into the cameras. Then she said the words no one expected. "Yes, I love her." The room fell completely silent. Outside the building, Elena watched the live broadcast on her phone. Tears streamed down her face. Scarlett had just risked everything. For her. Scarlett's confession spread across the internet within hours. News channels, blogs, and social media couldn't stop talking about the future. CEO of Hayes Corporation and the mysterious artist she loved. Some people admired her courage. Others judged her without mercy. When Scarlett finally left the company building, dozens of reporters surrounded her. "Miss Hayes, is your relationship real? Did your family disown you? Are you stepping down as CEO?" Before Scarlett could answer, Elena appeared through the crowd. She reached for Scarlett's hand without hesitation. "I'm here," Elena whispered. Scarlett looked at her with relief. Together they walked through the sea of cameras, refusing to let go of each other's hands. The photos of them holding hands quickly became headlines across the country. That night, they sat quietly on the rooftop where they had shared their first kiss. "I'm sorry your life has become so complicated because of me," Elena said. Scarlett gently shook her head. "You didn't ruin my life." She smiled softly. "You gave it meaning." Elena's eyes filled with tears as she leaned against Scarlett's shoulder. For a brief moment, the world outside disappeared. All that mattered was the love they shared. The next morning, Scarlett received an official letter from the Hayes Corporation board. An emergency meeting had been scheduled. Everyone knew what it was about. Inside the boardroom, the directors sat in complete silence. Victoria stood at the front. "Our company's reputation is at risk," she declared. "We need a new CEO." Scarlett slowly stood. "So you're replacing me because of who I love?" "No," Victoria replied coldly. "I'm replacing you because you chose love over this family." The room fell silent. Just as the vote was about to begin, the boardroom doors suddenly opened. Adrian Hayes walked in. "I object." Every eye turned toward him. "If anyone deserves to lead this company, it's Scarlett." Victoria stared at her son in shock. Adrian? He looked directly at his sister. You spent your whole life protecting this family. It's our turn to protect you. Scarlett's eyes watered. For the first time, she realized she wasn't fighting this battle alone. But outside the company, Daniel watched everything from his car. His expression was unreadable. Then his phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number appeared. This is only the beginning. We know Elena Rivera. Daniel's face turned pale. Someone else had entered the game. And this time, Elena might be the real target. Scarlett couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. The anonymous message haunted her thoughts. The next afternoon, Elena opened her art gallery as usual. Customers admired her paintings, unaware that a man in a black suit had been watching her from outside. Scarlett arrived with 2 cups of coffee. You've been quiet, Elena noticed. I'm worried. About the company? Scarlett hesitated. About you. Before Elena could respond, the lights inside the gallery suddenly went out. The room fell into darkness. A loud crash echoed from the back. When the lights came back on, one of Elena's favorite paintings lay torn on the floor. The customers panicked. The man in the black suit had disappeared. Elena stared at the ruined canvas with tears in her eyes. Scarlett immediately wrapped an arm around her. This wasn't an accident. Elena looked up. You think someone did this on purpose? Scarlett nodded. They're trying to scare us. Elena took a deep breath. Then we won't let them win. Scarlett smiled proudly. That's my brave girl. For the first time since the nightmare began, they chose courage over fear. That evening, Scarlett invited Elena back to the rooftop where everything had started. The city lights shimmered below them. I used to believe love was a weakness, Scarlett admitted. But then I met you. Elena smiled softly. And now? Now I know love gives me strength. She reached into her coat pocket and pulled out a small silver necklace with a heart-shaped pendant. I bought this the day I realized I was in love with you. Scarlett gently placed it around Elena's neck. It's beautiful. It belongs to you. Elena's eyes filled with tears. I don't need expensive gifts. I know. You are already enough. Scarlett cupped Elena's face. I promise you something. No more hiding. No more pretending. No matter what happens, I'll choose you. Elena smiled through her tears. And I'll choose you. Every single day. They sealed the promise with a gentle kiss beneath the stars. Neither of them noticed the camera hidden on a nearby rooftop. Someone quietly took another photograph. From the darkness, a voice whispered, Let's see how long this love survives. The danger was closer than ever. The next morning, Scarlett received an anonymous package at her office. Inside were dozens of photographs. Every picture showed her and Elena together. There was also a single note. Leave Elena Rivera, or she'll pay the price. Scarlett's hands trembled. This was no longer about family reputation. Someone was threatening the woman she loved. Without wasting another second, Scarlett rushed to Elena's gallery. She found Elena arranging a new collection of paintings. What are you doing here? Elena asked with a smile. Scarlett pulled her into a tight embrace. I'm taking you somewhere safe. Elena frowned. What happened? Scarlett showed her the note. Elena's smile disappeared. So, they're serious. Scarlett looked into her eyes. I don't care what happens to me, but I won't let anyone hurt you. Elena gently held Scarlett's face. We'll face this together. Scarlett nodded. No more fear. No more running. Together they locked the gallery and left, unaware that someone was secretly following their car. Adrian hired a private investigator to find out who had been stalking Scarlett and Elena. A few days later, The investigator arrived with shocking news. It wasn't Daniel. Scarlett looked confused. Then who is it? The investigator placed a photograph on the table. A man in his late 40s, Richard Vaughn. He owns Vaughn Industries, the investigator explained. He has been trying to force Hayes Corporation into a merger for years. Adrian's eyes widened. If Scarlett's reputation is destroyed, Hayes Corporation becomes weaker, the investigator finished. Everything suddenly made sense. The threats, the leaked photos, the attack on Elena's gallery. Someone had been using their love as a weapon. That evening, Scarlett told Elena everything. Instead of fear, Elena smiled gently. They can attack our names. She reached for Scarlett's hand. But they can't control our hearts. Scarlett smiled back. For the first time in weeks, hope returned. But across the city, Richard Vaughn watched them through a live security feed. He smirked. If love is their greatest strength, I'll make it their greatest weakness. The battle had only just begun. A week later, Scarlett decided that fear had stolen enough of their happiness. I have a surprise for you, she told Elena. What kind of surprise? Elena asked curiously. You'll see. Scarlett blindfolded Elena and carefully led her to a beautiful botanical garden. When the blindfold came off, Elena gasped. Hundreds of flowers surrounded them. In the center stood a small easel with a blank canvas. I thought we could paint something together, Scarlett said shyly. Elena laughed. The future CEO wants to paint? I'm terrible at it. You definitely are. Scarlett pretended to be offended. Excuse me? Elena dipped her finger into blue paint and playfully touched Scarlett's nose. There! You started a war. Scarlett grabbed a paintbrush and accidentally splashed pink paint across Elena's cheek. Soon they were laughing, chasing each other around the garden, covered in colorful paint. Visitors couldn't help but smile as they watched them. When they finally stopped running, both of them were out of breath. Scarlett gently held Elena's hand. I haven't laughed like this in years. Elena rested her forehead against Scarlett's. Then promise me, no matter how difficult life gets, don't forget to smile with me. I promise. That evening, Adrian invited both of them to dinner. To Scarlett's surprise, Adrian welcomed Elena warmly. I finally understand why my sister changed, he said with a smile. You make her happy. Elena blushed. After dinner, Adrian secretly handed Scarlett a small envelope. Open it later. Back at the rooftop, Scarlett opened it. Inside was a handwritten note. Don't let fear decide your future. Fight for the woman you love. I'll always be on your side. Adrian. Scarlett smiled with tears in her eyes. She turned to Elena. I used to believe success was everything. But then I met you, and I realized you are my greatest achievement. Elena laughed softly. I'm not a business project, Miss Hayes. I know, but you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. Elena wrapped her arms around Scarlett. I love you. I love you more. Oh, really? Elena teased. Prove it. Scarlett leaned in and kissed her. When they pulled away, they couldn't stop laughing. Above them, fireworks suddenly lit up the night sky from a nearby city festival. Scarlett looked at Elena and smiled. This is only the beginning. Elena intertwined their fingers. Then let's risk it all, together. As they walked away beneath the colorful lights, neither of them noticed a black luxury car parked across the street. Inside, Richard Vaughn watched them silently before driving away. Their love had survived its first storm, but an even greater challenge was waiting.